pals, Never here from Drake Wing Gaming, 70 Mounts Wood of the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you on the Let's Play episode of Beasts of the Thorns. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go. Alright. If you get lost, it's best to stay put and wait for rescue. During the day, there are no dangerous beasts in the thicket forest, but once you wander outside the forest area, it's hard to say. But as soon as there is no light, the prickly birds of the thornwoods disappear and the animals in the neighborhood begin to flock in to feed. Because the thornwoods fruit all year round and are therefore an excellent feeding spot for herbivores, and a lot of herbivores means a lot of carnivorous raptors as well, so the forest isn't safe at night. That is for this reason that we make sure to retreat at night. Another danger is the rain, which makes the forest difficult to walk through, which is accompanied by fog that can be disorienting. Sometimes students will see strange things in the rainy forest, such as people who don't exist or roads that don't exist. This kind of strange situation is frightening even to the demons of the necromancy department. So, if you are really unfortunate enough to encounter both at the same time on a rainy night, don't move. Find a tree on the ground and climb it and wait for help. Our hunting packs come with ropes to securely tie yourself to the tree. Then Bjorn pulled out the rope and skillfully demonstrated several different knots, and I was dazzled. Although we are supplied with fire-starting tools, it's actually too wet to start a fire in the forest most of the time, but it's better than nothing. These have been processed for moisture resistance and can be located quickly. Said he showed how to strike a moisture-proof match and blow it out with his mouth. Then he took out the tablets. These are water purification tablets that purify water. Although the water in the forest is clear, it is recommended to purify it before drinking it. 1 tablet will purify 1 gallon of water. And then, no flashlights. Most magical creatures have night vision, so they're less likely to get lost. But we're not forbidden to carry one. What about compasses and other locator tools? The compass fails for some reason, and this is an unsolved mystery of the Brotherhood. But a satellite locator is available which is not covered by the ration. It needs to be purchased at your own expense. Heh, sounds like a dangerous forest. Actually, the forest is safe if you follow the rules, but it's better to be cautious. After all, we magical creatures have been out of the wilderness for a while and our instincts have become less sharp. Basically, that's all you have to pay attention. You have until tomorrow to familiarize yourselves with tying knots and identifying plants. As for hunting, just do your best, and it's okay if you come home empty-handed. It's your first time, after all. After the lesson, Bjorn left us to practice our knots. I fiddled with the ropes, and Amor looked glumly at the botanical illustrations. Are you okay? I'm sorry I couldn't trip, Chris. That big dog is still sharp when he's focused on something. I don't blame you. He's horribly intuitive sometimes. If I didn't know you weren't related by blood, I'd think your personalities came from a common heritage, and that you both have a rotten temper that likes to on everything on your own. I'll take it as a compliment. I was more worried that Chris would reject my help. And the atmosphere in the Ostrom office just now simply wasn't yielding. Are you really not Chris's biological brother? I replied to him with no trace of a smile. Anxiety was growing within me, knowing that I might have to resort to measures that would strain my relationship with Chris. In the evening, we were in the Honeywine Hall with Squad 9 preparing the tools for tomorrow. Darwin himself came to show us how to organize our tools, ration resources such as fire-raising tools, ropes, dry food, first aid supplies, and much, much more. He also prepared a long-sleeved outfit for me. You don't have fur that can feel the airflow anyway, and it's torture to ask you to roll around in the brambles with that skin. He taught us how to make the most of every storage space by having us stow all our tools on a snug-fitting fanny pack. This type of fanny pack is called a tail-on pack and has a drawstring that snaps the tail so it won't wobble. And then this is a special knife for you. You have no claws, so you need the knife. Do not stab a prickly bird with it. It will turn to dust. You don't have any means of hunting prickly birds, so look out for any hanging on plants. I drew my knife and sheathed it. It was a fine Damascus steel knife. I put away the knife and put it in my belt pouch. Chris discusses tomorrow's route with the 9th squad leader. The forest is big, but it's still important to avoid repeating the hunt. This is Team 9's 3rd assignment. The first 2 were not very productive, so they have downsized from a 10-man team to a 6, which expands the range of hunting grounds each man is assigned to, but at the same time increases the danger. We were assigned a hunt that had the most prickly birds, but the most complicated terrain. Finally, there's the question of who gets to partner with whom. If Chris was paired with a Moor, then I was paired with a fill-in hunter. Almost everyone suggests that Chris is paired with a Moor, which is the option that most likely to get Chris through the hunt. Conversely, if Chris is paired with me, then a Moor will be paired with a replacement hunter. Although Chris strongly prefers to be paired with me, I have no guarantee that I can help Chris pass the hunt, and Chris will face a very high risk of failure. So how do I choose a pairing? First, Chris team up with Moor. I'll team up with Chris. I want to team up with Chris. I know Chris's stubbornness all too well, and rather than push him so hard that he'll get into trouble, it's better if I'm there to keep an eye on him. Although I'm still nervous, I think it's feasible that I can ambush the bird in the water by not having to breathe. Chris has also mastered the zone technique, although a little flawed, but it is sufficient to hunt birds. We only need to catch the minimum of a bird, so catching more or less is not a problem. Besides, Chris rarely asks me for anything. We've known each other for a long time, and I remember the times when I would follow him around and play, and he was always my leader, my protector. But I knew he was the one who needed to be led and protected. He used to be carefree, but since Nud's death, things have gotten harder for Chris. He always found a way to gather us kids together after school, lead us on adventures and run us through the streets, play every game of soccer, share every secret, comfort us with every worry, and bring us joyful moments. But at dusk, when every mother called her children to dinner and every father watched TV with them, Chris, alone and lonely, always cast a long silhouette on the deserted streets. But he still gave himself to us as our older brother. He taught us how to swim in the lake. He taught us how to change the tires on a used car. He taught us how to go from boys to men. Even though we all vaguely knew he wasn't doing well, he didn't ask for help. He didn't want to put a shadow on our smiles, even though he was scared. Cat, hush. There's a little whiner in the background, y'all. He's stubborn, sure, but this is the first time he's ever been stubborn with me, and I owe him that much. All he asked was to share his joy with me, to hunt the little bird with him when he was closest to the father of his dreams. What a small wish. My brother, after all I owe you. You could have asked me for everything, and you granted such a small wish. How can I refuse you? My mind was made up, and I went to Chris, who was finalizing his equipment. How ready are you? I've checked it 3 times, and there should be no oversights. He looked at me with big, clear eyes. Hess, I'm going to be a hunter, just like my dad used to be. But I'm scared. He whispered into my ear. For real estate? No. I've never been so scared. Ever since I was a child, I've dreamed of this moment, of being closer to my dad, and Hess. You know, I've never really had him. He left too soon. It's a splash of color in my faded childhood memories. I kept trying to find out more about Nud, but there was no way to trace him. He was like an elusive ghost who left no record in the human community. And although I knew he came from the outer limits don't open up any information to humans, and there was no way for me to inquire about it. I've tried so many times and countless ways to get to know my unattached dad better, but in the end all I get is air. As the years went by, I thought I would learn to give up, but I didn't expect to see him at the fraternity at all. When I realized he was such a great man, I felt both proud and worried. I am proud that Nud was so brilliant willing to give up the honor of the hunter's crown for his friend. It also worries me, and I fear I am not strong enough to carry on his will. What if I let Nud down? What if Nud doesn't recognize me? What if Nud doesn't love me? These thoughts lingered in my mind, even though I already knew that he was long dead, and that the dead don't have any thoughts. In the end, it's just me worrying about myself. Chris was silent for a long time before he leaned in softly again. But I still want people to think that he made the right decision by falling in love with my mom and having me, even if I can't be considered a complete demon. It's funny, isn't it? On the human side, I have to be careful all the time not to let humans discover I'm a monster, but in the outer territory, I'm ashamed to mention my human bloodline. I'm just an existence caught in between. I'm such an incompetent big brother, Hess. I can't speak. I know he carries a lot on his broad shoulders, but this is just, well, too much. Come on. So I reached out. It was my hand that should have reached out to him. We'll finish it together. If you're burdened too much, let me carry it for you. If you can't handle it, let me take it for you. My brother, if I could bring back your smile, what's risking everything for it? Chris's big blue eyes shed tears, but he was smiling. Don't cry. I didn't cry. It's just that the tears forgot how to stay in my eyes. He grabbed the hand I extended, his large palm enveloping mine tightly. Then he hugged me tight, and it was heavenly. I hugged him back. The puppy without a father is finally going to find a home. I was lucky to be there for him. Without a word, he rubbed his helmet against mine, tears streaking in like raindrops. The resonating bell filled my chest with his emotion, overflowing to the point where I trembled. I never knew there were so many tears beneath his tough exterior. I always thought he forgot to cry as he grew into a stalwart man. I wish I had my head at this moment. Let him be like the tears of a spring raindrop, falling on my face and on my heart. I might have cried, and our tears would have flowed into a river and eventually into the distant future. But I had no eyes capable of tears, so I clung to him as hard as I could, as if it would give him everything in my breast. There was a commotion in the hall. People saw us hugging, but I didn't care. Alright, y'all, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I shall see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!